video was originally recorded October 2018 at the annual Dr. Nida program held at Menla Retreat and Dewa Spa in Phoenicia, New York. To learn about annual Tibetan medicine programs, please visit tibethouse.us and menla.org.
Good. That makes sense? Everything's good?
It's probably one of the most well-articulated empowerments
in
the world. On planet Earth. Yeah.
With some humor.
Yeah.
Who knew I was doing that all the time?
Right, exactly.
I was like so amazed that we got all of those. Did somebody say that? That we got empowerment for all. Is that right?
Yes, yes.
That was just
So one question I do have about that is, we're talking about having more empowerment, but then I thought that Nida also said something about within the context of that having the empowerments for the six yogas.
Yes, that happens when the chakras open. Those are each connected with the six yogas and the two mudras.
Is there a systematic connection like that could be charted, like those yogas for that particular empowerment?
Yes.
You need tea, you have coffee?
I'm okay, I have some tea, thank you.
Bring the water in.
Can we do 3 minutes of breathing?
Please. 10 minutes. Actually, hopefully people will be breathing for a few more years. That's helpful.
Okay, let's just review this breathing so we make sure everybody knows it before we go into the... So come into the center posture direction. I'm doing the empty body meditation.
I lost you too.
Visualizing yourself as a hollow shell of light. With 3 empty luminous channels. Blue one in the center. The red solar one on the right side. And the white lunar on the left. Then we do ninefold purification like we've been doing every morning. So inhale through both nostrils. Exhale. And blocking the left nostril first. Inhale through the right side. So drawing pure breath, pure light into the right channel. Hold the breath. Block the right nostril. Exhale left. Inhale left side. Cleaning up the left channel. Hold the breath. Block the left nostril. Exhale right side. Both hands down. Inhale. Drop the fingertips. Hold the breath. Exhale. And again, block left. Inhaling. And just do it at your own pace. One more time. And coming back to center. And then empty body meditation. We're going to do the Bumpachen with the 4 steps. So first step is the slow inhale, slow and smooth inhale. Second, holding and filling below the navel. And number 3, churning. So clockwise, counterclockwise. And then 4th step, exhale. So shooting the breath out. Keep going. So the inhales are slow and smooth, and the exhales short and fast. And only exhaling about 1/3 of the breath. Just one more. And breathing in and out through your nostrils. The purpose of this is called Vajra Fist. So Vajra Fist, Vajra means like indestructible. So it's a question of these channels. So from the 4th fingers and from the 4th toes, because when you block these channels, you actually protect your La energy. So La energy is like a very subtle form of your energy, your like life force. And it's said that it can leak out from these channels, and also it's the channels where some influences from the exterior can come in. So when you hold your fist like this, it's like a protection.
I didn't catch you say that. This gesture is the Vajra gesture?
Yeah, Vajra fist.
Which is the ring finger?
The ring finger, yeah.
That's all the other fingers are just extended?
No, the other fingers wrap around like a fist.
I like that.
And this one can stay, the index finger can either stay out or, yeah.
Like that. Oh, I see. Yeah. There's a Vajra fist like that, I think. You close them all.
Yeah, you can close them all or you can point towards the central channel. Yeah.
That's good. There's another one there's another one that we can do that's a little different, but very similar in the same ballpark while everybody's breathing.
Yeah.
It's called Vajra repetition. And it's a very advanced perfection stage thing where once you've opened the channels a little bit with that breathing that you do, that you did, you then imagine or visualize that your central channel is open, the knots around it have been released and relaxed, and that in the center of the heart chakra there's an upside down letter Hum. That's you can imagine, or you can just imagine it as a letter there, and it's actually an upside down Tibetan Hum. And when you inhale through the nostrils, you inhale, the inhalation itself is Om, like Vairochana Om, that is white, and comes in with a white light. And so you inhale Om, and you, at first, of course, you're thinking Om as you're inhaling, through the nostrils, ideally. But eventually the idea is that the inhalation itself is Om. So you don't have to divide between the sound or the image of the letter Om and the breath, because the breathing in is Om, kind of thing, if you follow me. So you work toward trying to unify the mantra and the breathing and the breath. So you inhale Om, and then you imagine that that white energy is going in and goes inside the letter Hum in the heart center. And then you hold your breath for some time, just some seconds, 10 seconds or something. And you imagine that when the breath is being held, that the Om inhalation turns into an ruby red. It's the sound remember the second syllable, the red and the tava one, right? But what you don't enunciate anything. The simple holding of the breath, the energy of the breath in the Hum of the heart is the sound So, and it radiates a red light that fills up your body from that point in the center of the heart chakra. So then as you're holding your breath, you hear and you fill up with red light. And then, at whatever moment, after say 10 seconds or however you like to practice holding the breath, you exhale, and the exhalation is a deep blue Hum. And again, you're working toward the non-duality, the non-separation of the Om and the inhalation, the and the holding of the energy point at the center of the heart chakra, back in front of the spine at the height of the heart, not on the left side like the heart, in the middle, but the center of the central channel there. And then when you inhale, you exhale, the exhalation is a blue Hum. Okay? And you try to unify those three Om, Hum with inhalation, holding, and exhalation. And you try to think of the energy going in and out of the Hum in the central channel. So it's a little complicated when you first hear it, but it's really quite easy. In other words, inhaling is white Om, holding full of breath is red And in a way, I guess you would say the spread of oxygen from the inhalation in the system, you are thinking of as a glowing red light that is shining throughout the universe, actually, but at least throughout your body. And And then the exhalation is the blue home. Then again home. You don't hold it at the end of the exhalation, you immediately inhale home. Okay, so try that a few times. Inhaling Om, and you can hold it as long or short as you like. We're not doing it in unison. And that's called Vajra repetition or Vajra recitation, although you don't make any sound other than the breathing itself. Okay. Actually, you should be in you should be already in a divine body, a divine Buddha body when you do that practice. At the, you've already achieved, in other words, a kind of creation stage stability where you're able to visualize yourself as having a Tara body or a Vajrasattva body or whatever, ideally. But I have a nice story. A friend of mine, Dan Goldman, was stuck years ago in Dharamsala, and the planes were all canceled, and there was no chance to get a train ticket from the 40 mile away, like railroad line. And so he had to take a taxi to Delhi to catch a flight. Very arduous. In those days, the roads were bad, 17-hour, very bumpy, very bad drive in a rattling taxi. We packed in with 3 or 4 other people in the old Indian ambassador car. And some monk told him, well, to make it less of a horrible journey, because he knew Dan had practiced, Vipassana type meditating. He said, why don't you inhale Om, white Om, hold the breath a little bit, red Ah, and exhale as a blue Om. And then try to focus on that and not be irritated by all the jangling, jostling of the driving. Of course, there was no tantric, nothing, so I didn't really explain it, he just said, why don't you try that? So Dan claimed that he did that, and by the time he got to Delhi, he was like floating. He somehow been forced pressure in the taxi, and the annoying environment made him do that. Oh, let's get up! All this I'm starting to go, in the honor of talking. In honor of talking again, I wore a special t-shirt today. You see my t-shirt, Emma?
Yak.
That's my professor t-shirt. Yak. Excuse me, yak t-shirt.
I'm a real yak.
Someone gave that to me. I don't know if they were hinting at something.
Yak Satori.
That's hilarious.
So that's called the Vajra repetition. And they say if you know how to do that really at an advanced stage, if you do it 1,080 times every morning when you wake up, your central channel will open and you will be really in a great state. I didn't quite make that quite yet. But it's one of the very second stage of the perfection stage in the great Samadhi. Okay, so please, what do we do now?
Dream yoga.
No.
Dream yoga.
Dream yoga, okay, you, please.
Where's my text? My text to where he...
Oh, that white paper? Oh, my copy was over there.
Can you use your copy? Okay, thank you. I can use some of this. Alright, so dream yoga. We have few steps in dream yoga.
Okay.
So step 1 is daytime practice. During the daytime, whilst eating, dressing, walking, sitting or sleeping, or we are in a sitting state, at any given moment of life, imagine I am sleeping. I am sleeping. 7 times. I am sleeping. 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 I am dreaming. 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 Imagine that it is a dream and that everything is an illusion. What is this?
Illusion.
That's a dream bottle.
Dream bottle. Can you say that 7 times?
Dream bottle, dream bottle, dream bottle, dream bottle, dream bottle, dream bottle, dream bottle.
This one?
Dream
sun.
Dream thumb up. Dream thumb up. Dream thumb up.
Dream thumb up. Dream thumb up.
Dream thumb up.
Dream thumb down. Dream thumb down. Dream thumb down.
Dream finger up. We call this a dream finger.
That's the dream finger?
Yes, dream yoga.
Dream finger up.
Dream finger up. Dream finger up.
Reminds me of a joke, but
I'm happy in dream. 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 I'm unhappy 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 in dream. I'm happy. I'm angry in dream. 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 I'm jealous 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 in dream. I'm confused 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 in dream. Okay, what's your main desire now? What's your main desire?
Lucid. Become lucid. Wake up.
Wake up.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
You're not chocolate?
Besides chocolate. Wake up.
How do you say chocolate, the desire?
Somebody offered some dream chocolate.
Chocolate.
I want to eat chocolate in dream. I want to eat chocolate in dream. I want to eat chocolate in dream.
I want to eat chocolate.
Stronger, ladies.
I want to eat chocolate in dream. I want to eat chocolate in dream.
Okay, now you imagine. Give to me. This is called empowerment. You imagine, okay? You imagine you're eating chocolate. Chocolate empowerment. Do you see?
Drink chocolate.
Drink chocolate. Now you eat. Okay, it's full of sugar, full of bad stuff, but you can eat how much you want. Eat.
All you want.
Yes.
Drink chocolate.
Drink chocolate. Drink chocolate.
Drink chocolate.
Drink chocolate.
Drink berry.
But you didn't eat.
Dream cheesy.
Dream eating.
You didn't eat.
Dream eating. Dream I want to eat. Dream eating.
Alright, everyone, now you share, okay. Share the chocolate. Share the chocolate. Oh, sorry. Share it. I'm eating in dream. I'm eating in dream. I'm eating in dream. I'm eating in dream.
I'm eating in dream. I'm eating in dream.
I'm enjoying it.
Say it.
I'm eating in dream. I'm eating in dream. I'm tasting in dream. Tasting in dream.
You're enjoying in dream. You're enjoying in dream. You're enjoying in dream. You're enjoying in dream. 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 What's our spray?
What?
No, where's the spray? Because we have a special. You can spray this? I smell and dream. I smell and dream.
I smell and dream.
I don't smell yet. Can you spray me? You do it.
We have incense in dream.
Yeah.
I got incense in dream.
I smell and dream. I smell and dream. I can 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 smell and dream. I feel and dream. I feel and dream.
I
Feeling and dream. I'm feeling and dream.
feeling in dream.
I'm feeling and dream.
I'm feeling.
I'm feeling and dream. I'm feeling and dream.
Feeling in dream.
Okay? So you have to say it and what else? Say it,
Feel
name it, feel it, and experience. Dream dimension. Okay, then we look at image of the Buddha, Buddha Amitabha. So now you have received the Dream Yoga empowerment, right? Read syllable to syllable and then it becomes Buddha Amitabha. So practice before falling asleep, Guru visualization. Before you go to sleep, visualize a white lotus flower with 4 petals in the center of your throat chakra. Now your throat chakra is open. Your primordial awareness, your pristine wisdom, original consciousness. Do you remember? arises as Guru Amitabha. So your awareness and the nature of the Guru and nature of Buddha Amitabha is the same. There is no difference. The nature of your consciousness is infinite light. The Guru Yuto is infinite light and Buddha Amitabha is infinite light. There is no division. Alright, inseparable. In union and one twin size, two fingers wide. In his heart there is a coral colored, what syllable? Twenty-one times, okay? Each time when you say you think of the syllable. So mantra visualization on the 4 petals times the 4 syllables, Amitabha, in any color you choose. Guru Amitabha's concert offering him the great bliss. Prayer or aspiration, recite, may I able to catch the dream. Can you say that 3 times? May I be able to catch the dream. May I be able to catch the dream. May I be able to catch the dream. To realize my own awareness within 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 the dream. To transform the dream. To transform the dream. To transform the dream. To transform the dream. To avoid the fear in the dream. To avoid fear in the dream. To avoid fear in the dream. To avoid fear in the dream. And to understand the truth of 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 the dream. Okay, then this is the visualization. So here we put it in different colors, but you can put any colors how you want, okay? But main syllable is red A. So you know the A is the main syllable of Dream Yoga. But the mantra is Om Anuttara. So after you have recited the prayer, and one is to chant Om mantra Om Anuttara, visualize that red light like that of the raising sun radiate from the Guru's body, it means Buddha Amitabha's body, eliminating all bad karmas and provocations from your body. Your body is filled with a red light which then expands beyond it. Are you visualizing? Red light here, Om Anuttara, mentally you chant Om Anuttara, and then you listen and follow the meditation. Red light like that the rising sun radiates from the body of the Buddha or the Guru, eliminating all bad karmas and provocations from your body. And your body is filled with red light, which then expands beyond it. All of the space becomes pure land, and all sentient beings become dakas and dakinis. The light is offered to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. So the light is becoming an offering for Buddhas and becoming a help and support for all sentient beings. That's why all sentient beings, they become dakas and dakinis, or male Buddhas and female Buddhas. The light to return to the Guru's heart, Buddha Amitabha's heart, and then the eye becomes a very radiant and colorful. Focus your mind on this. Are you meditating? In dream. I'm reading, you just follow, you make it used to it, okay? Get used to it. You're visualizing, the light returns to the Guru's heart, and then the eye becomes very radiant and colorful. Focus your mind on this in your throat chakra. Try to see that red eye in your throat chakra. Red A in English, it's A, right? A. See it very clearly, very sharply. And concentrate on it as if you are threading a needle. Actually, it's good. The English A has a hole, not like a needle, right? And the top there's a little triangle. Try to think that little triangle very carefully. Just before you fall asleep, remind yourself 21 times, verbally or mentally, to catch your dream. Catching dream means what? Lucid, right?
Yeah.
Catching dream, that's a Tibetan expression. Catching means to become lucid dream. So you can tell yourself you want to have lucid dream. You want to be lucid in the dream? How do you say? How do you say?
I want to know.
I want to be lucid in the dream.
I want to be lucid in the dream. I want to be lucid in the dream. Okay, you say that mentally.
I want to what?
I want to be lucid in the dream.
Lucid in the dream. That is it. I want to recognize I am in the dream. Lucid. I want to be aware that I am in the dream. I want to recognize that I am in the dream. I want to identify myself in the dream. I want to recognize it.
For me, it's like I want to be awake in the dream.
It's more than just being awake in the dream, it's recognizing that it's a dream. I like catch.
I want to be lucid in the dream. I want to be lucid in the dream. I want to be lucid in the dream. Lucid in the dream.
Okay, did you say that 21 times? If you fall asleep mindfully, you will be able to catch the dream. That is, you will be able to have a lucid dream. If you cannot catch it, it's because of weak devotion or dense karma, and a lack of desire, courage and effort on your part. Be more mindful and pray more from your inner heart. You pray to Medicine Buddha, or pray to Buddha Amitabha, or pray to Yuta. Okay? Pray, ask Yuta or Buddha to bless you, help you, that you are able to catch your dream. Did you do the prayer? How did you do it? Please Yuta bless me. Please Medicine Buddha bless me. Something very simple, okay? If you still cannot catch the dream, after repeating this visualization of Guru in the throat a few times, I told you this had to be 1 month, right? Then you visualize the Guru in the head, heart, navel and the base. Now you know it, right? So all those Yuto, they are manifesting. Yuto is manifesting in the form of different Buddhas. Firstly, Yuto is manifesting as infinite Buddha, infinite light Buddha in our throat. So if we can't receive the blessing from there, then we change it to here in the head. In the head, Buddha Yuto is manifesting as a Buddha Verochana. Is it written there? Mm-hmm. Buddha Verochana. Another second month. If it's not working, the third month is Buddha Akshobhya, or Medicine Buddha, okay? Or any other blue Buddhas, Medicine Buddha, Akshobhya, Samandabhadra, Vajradhara, the blue Buddhas in the heart, third month. If still not that one not helping, then the yellow Buddha, Ratna Sambhava, that's fourth month. If still not working, then Amoga Siddhi, fifth one, okay? If it's still not working, then you give up Dream Yoga. Then you come back to Ati Yoga. Okay? Hatha Yoga is now and here. I told you this morning. Hatha Yoga is now and here. Any moment, any given moment, you can always do Ati. Any given moment, you can do Ati. Okay? You are naked the mind, free from past, free from future, free from present. One false consciousness. Do you remember? One false consciousness. Okay, and then after yoga, your dream will become lucid by itself. Do you understand? Because when you are lucid in the life, in the dream you are lucid too. Alright? Normally, in the dream it's easy to become lucid. Dream yoga is easy. Once you're very good with dream yoga and real life, you can become lucid too. But it's up to you. Okay? It's up to you. So if you wake up after you have caught the dream, do not open your eyes. Normally, once you caught the dream, very easy to wake up, and especially with excitement. And keep your eyes closed and remain mindful and relax. Okay, relax. Don't push yourself too much. Oh, I almost got it, and now I wake up. Oh, don't give you pressure. Don't give self pressure. Don't push yourself too much. Just be mindful. Oh, I had that dream. I become lucid. I woke up. Okay, what can I do? Try to sleep again. Okay. Mindful and relax. In the matter you will be, or in this matter you will come over the problems of not catching the dream or waking up, as opening eye is distracting. Okay, and then we have 5 chakras, and now we should read this part. Transforming the dream. Can you read this part? Indicate Shubhada Janadindra. Shubhada Chokchikchoni. Thank you.
Purification, transforming the dream?
Yeah.
Purification, multiplication, and transformation. Once you have a stable basis in catching dreams, that is, once you can do it frequently, you should do purification, multiplication, and transformation.
Close your eyes and listen.
You will then be able to catch them at will, and your dream recognition then becomes a stable experience. During the daytime as a meditation, imagine that you are in the dream and that you need to transform all experiences. Imagine that there is a dream fire that does not burn you. Dream water that does not flood you. Dream cliff that you will never fall off, etc. Imagine you can do everything at will. Do the same meditation with wild animals and evil spirits. Dream animals cannot attack you, and dream spirits can do you no harm. Do this practice constantly so that you will be able to do the same in the dream. Before falling asleep, keep applying these meditation thoughts. When you have caught the dream, you can do everything you did in the daytime exercise. For example, if you imagine an animal attacking you during the daytime, then you strongly think, this is a dream animal which cannot attack me, so nothing can attack or harm me.
Imagine a bear is attacking you.
If you see an animal in the dream,
It's a dream.
do exactly the same.
Imagine a tiger is attacking you. It's a dream.
In this manner, think of whatever you see or experience during the daytime as a dream.
Close your eyes and imagine. Close your
In the
eyes.
dream,
and imagine.
believe that you can do anything.
Close your eyes and imagine. Don't read the text.
Imagine water transforms into fire, and fire transforms into water.
Imagine a fire, it's become water. Imagine a water become fire. You can play with them.
You can change objects at will.
A rock become a tree become a rock.
Change everything from 100 to 1,000 times.
1 flower become 10, 10 flower become 100, 100 become 1,000. Can you imagine? Yes, you can imagine. Just very fast. Boop, 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 boop. It's very fast, automatic. Don't stuck with the numbers.
If you see sentient beings, imagine that they are your deity and multiply them.
All birds are Buddha, medicine Buddha. All insects, all flies, all human beings, everything, all sentient beings are Buddhas. Different colors, different shapes.
The deity goes from 1 up to countless, can be multiplied infinitely.
Multiply yourself too. You can become 10,000, 100,000, million, 10 million, billion, and countless. Can you do it? Oh yes. Once you are relaxed, yes. I told you, don't get stuck. Why? How? When? There's no questions. Just do it. Just do it! You are dreaming.
Antidote. If you encounter demons in the dream, for example, you experience a negative feeling or presence or odor, in order to subdue them, visualize their opponents. For Gyalpo spirits, visualize yourself as Hayagriva. For Za spirits, planet spirits, visualize Vajrapani.
Om Vajrapani Hum.
For Nagas,
Vajrapani Hum.
For Nagas, visualize Nagaraksha, serpent dragon being.
Imagine all snakes, spiders, frogs, fish, sea animals. They are coming and attacking you, but you realize it's a dream. They all vanish like the air, like the light.
In the same way, if you encounter a dog, visualize a wolf.
If dog is attacking you, if you like that dog, you can multiply that dog.
Visualize for a wolf, visualize a tiger.
If wolf is attacking you, what you will say? You will say, tiger.
For a tiger, visualize a lion, etc. Whatever animal you see.
That's a snow line.
Then snow lion. Whatever animal you see, you can always visualize a stronger animal conquering the previous one.
Can you say, I can conquer?
I can conquer.
Loudly.
I can conquer. I can conquer.
7 times.
I can conquer. 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 I can conquer.
I can conquer in dream. I can transform 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 my feelings 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 in dream. Did you transform? Unhappiness transform into happiness. Bad feeling transform into good feeling. Even neutral feeling, I call it potato feeling. You know, you're not feeling happy, non-happy. Even potato feeling, you can transform into a bliss feeling.
I can transform potato feeling into bliss feeling.
I can transform potato feeling.
meditative feeling into bliss feeling.
I can transform my anger in dream.
I can transform my anger into joy.
Anger transform in joy?
Yeah. I can transform anger into joy.
In dream.
Huh?
Okay, repeat 7 times.
I can transform anger into joy. I can transform anger into joy.
Stronger. You have to say this with your anger. Yes.
I can transform anger into joy in my dream. I can transform anger into ecstasy. Anger into joy. Anger into joy.
You are very good. Maya is very good. Can you show us? Can you come here? In the dream, you are not. How do you say? I'm not shy. Yeah.
I'm not shy.
I'm not shy in the dream. I'm not shy in the dream.
I'm not shy in the dream.
I'm brave in the dream. I transform my shyness into bravery.
I can transform anger into joy in the dream.
More.
I
7
can
times.
transform anger into joy in the dream. I can transform anger into joy in the dream. I can transform anger into joy in the dream. I can transform anger into joy.
More anger, please. More
I can
anger.
transform anger.
That's better. That's American anger. More. Once more.
I can transform anger.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Who else is angry? Anyone is angry? She's very helpful, yeah? She helped us to bring out our anger. Okay, who is sad? Who is sad? Who is stressed? Who's feeling tension? Who's feeling tension? Now you are scared. You don't want to come publicly.
Yeah, we're all bliss.
Yeah, really? Okay, then Dream Yoga is working. Okay, Dream Yoga is working.
I can do what? Okay. Travel to Pure Land.
Travel to Pure Land, yes.
Pure Land Farm. You can visit any Pure Land you want to and listen to any of Buddha's teaching. You can ride the sun and moon to visit the 4 continents.
Okay, close your eyes and fly into the space and ride the sun.
You can visit.
And riding the sun, coming back here, back and forth, few times. Then you say, oh, okay, get bored of sun, riding the sun. And now you fly to the moon, okay? You can ride any stars, planets you want. Just imagine, you see? This one helps us breaking our concept of the distance and the space.
If there is
when
anyone you wish to see.
When you think you are there, the sun is not, the scientifically says, like 100 of 1,000 of years, the light years we have to reach there. In Dream Yoga, you want to say, I want to see, ride the sun. When you say it, you're already top of the sun. If it's too hot, you can cool it down. Because you can conquer, right?
Right, in the dream.
Okay, Pure Land.
Pure Land.
Devachenla kansa injikella Sukhavati.
Sukhavati of Amitabha.
Okay, imagine first the Pure Land is Buddha Amitabha, the one our dream Buddha, right? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Can you say Sukhavati?
Sukhavati.
You are already there. Again.
Sukhavati.
Again.
Sukhavati. Sitting in a lotus.
Stronger.
Sukhavati. Sitting in a lotus.
It's in the west, don't get the wrong directions.
The body
Sukhavati.
Pure light.
Sukhavati. Shoot yourself. Sukhavati.
Amitabha is there all the time.
Sukhavati. Okay, now imagine. Don't write notes. You don't need to write notes.
Amitabha is there in Sukhavati.
Amitabha's Pure Land. There are no papers,
He's
no
1,000 miles tall. You are 100 miles tall. Your body is made of pure energy. And your body is made of orgasmic energy. You're sitting in a lotus and taking chocolate from the air. The air is made of jeweled
now
chocolate.
Pure Land means paradise, okay? Now you enjoy the paradise.
That's paradise.
Yes, yes. Professor is explaining how it looks
teaching and
like.
you completely understand with no effort. It's beautiful, sitting in lotus. All your friends are there. Couldn't be more beautiful. Amitabha, Pure Land.
Yes, what's your question?
My question is, when you are in a lucid state, can you go into clear light from there? Can you open a door and go into the clear light from that space?
Go into which light? Clear light?
Into clear light.
Yeah, the question
You
is...
can never go into clear light because you're always in clear light. You're
Can
never
you
not in clear light.
dissolve your sense of I-ness?
You only need to recognize.
Clear light is what you're made of, so you can't go into it. But you can go into Sukhavati, pure ruby, golden jewel light.
Yeah, questions later, okay? Now just to meditate. Imagine you are in that Sukhavati, Devajan, the Pure Land made of bliss or joy.
Yes.
Whatever comes in your head, what is the imagination, your imagination of paradise. This Sukhavati, Sukha is like Mahasukha, great bliss. It's filled with bliss, full of flowers, and it's really like your dreamland. And you receive teaching directly from the Buddha. Okay? The imagination, just imagine. You are dreaming, in the dream you reach the Pure Land, the paradise.
Yes.
The Buddha Amitabha. Imagine.
If you can remember Monet's water lilies, painting, giant painting, he was inspired by Sukhavati Pure Land. He saw a Japanese picture and he painted water lilies in France. If you've ever seen that, water lilies. That was inspiration by Monet, the French painter, of Sukhavati. Sukhavati is described in Sutra, mind-blowing, orgasmic ecstasy as flowers, as jewels, as beings, pure, luminous, jewel energy light.
If you feel unloved, in this paradise you are 100% loved.
You can go anyone.
If you feel you are the unwanted, and this Pure Land is your Pure Land.
If you wish to see anyone who is far away, you can transform into a bird and travel to see them. Even if a person has passed away, you can see that person in the past time. You can fly into the past, you can fly into the future. Whatever it is that you want to do, you can do. And the dream. If your dream is unclear, this means you have to be more mindful before sleeping. Keep the mind strongly focused on the visualization of the Guru at the throat, etc. Anuttara, Anuttara, Anuttara. Amitabha, Anuttara, Amitabha. Pandara. Amitabha's partner's name is Pandara Vasini. Always wears white over her ruby body. Pandara is the name. Before you sleep, constantly imagine many times that you visit the Pure Land. In this way, it will slowly become clearer and clearer. You will eventually succeed. Then Bumbajen, vase breathing. If you catch the dream, but your transformation is weak, it means that your lung, your neural energy practice is insufficient. Therefore, the practice of Bumbajen, or vase breathing, is important. When you visualize the navel chakra, the 64-petal chakra back in front of the spine, the coccyx, is your navel chakra, like an upside-down umbrella with 64 petals. You have to put your neural energy, lung, and consciousness there mentally, in the center of that. If you cannot go through earth in the dream, then you have to push your energy down from the navel during your yoga practice. If you cannot fly, you have to pull your neural energy lung and consciousness upward from the navel. If you cannot fly horizontally, push your energy and consciousness in that direction. And it says Nilam here in Dr. Nida's calligraphy.
Yeah, calligraphy of my friend.
Nilam. What?
Nilam.
That's your calligraphy, right?
No, my friend's calligraphy.
Your friend?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Think so. Okay. So if you cannot travel or if you cannot transform, then we have to do this vast breath yoga, Vaz yoga. So you did Vaz yoga already this morning. You did it? Inhale. Feel your belly and you hold it there. Okay? And now you imagine you go this way. You go out from the wall. Okay, go through the wall or window, doesn't matter, and come back 7 times, okay? Okay, exhale. Inhale. Imagine, go up. 1, come back. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Come back here, exhale. Okay, now that side, go through the wall. Do you understand? Wall is here, you are here, you go through the wall outside and come back like this, penetrating the wall. Okay, again, breathe. Hold, go out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, come back, exhale. Okay, now you fly out from the roof. Okay, inhale. Go up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, come back, exhale. How is it? Okay, again, go out from roof. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, come back, exhale. Now you should penetrate the floor, okay? Just go into the earth and come back. Or if you want, you go into the earth, make a hole for this planet, come out other side of the planet, and then come back here, okay? All right, inhale. Hold your last. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Exhale. Sorry, penetrated one extra. Okay, so if you cannot transform something, you see a flower, you want to transform into a tree, it doesn't work. So again, breathe in, hold the last breath, and then you imagine you are transforming it, transforming, and then you exhale. So when you hold the last breathing, it helps our mind for, easy to transform. Okay? So it's called the energy is supporting the mind, or energy is enhancing the mind, and then mind is able to make these things. So that's why the Pumbachan is very important. You should know it well. And if you do a dream yoga retreat, so we have to chant this mantra, Om Anuttara. Minimum is 100,000 times. 7 days, you have to finish. Om Anuttara, Om Anuttara, Om Anuttara, Om Anuttara, Om Anuttara. So you should have the Buddha Amitabha or Yuto, then that reminds you. And in your bedroom you put red Buddha, red object, red artworks. Okay, the red ones reminding you the red Buddha here in your throat. So you have to be 7 days of mindful, Om Anuttara 100,000 times, and then you have to do this Pumbachan. Pumbachan, let's say 400 times. Morning 100, afternoon 100, evening 100, before sleep 100, something like that. Okay, good. That's called the dream yoga. That's called the dream yoga. Transformation, multiplication. First, we have to make sure we are good for transforming. Okay. Once you are very good for transforming, then you do the multiplication. Sometimes that takes time. Sometimes it takes time. But once you are really good with transformation, then you can make the multiplication. Okay? Transformation more or less happening here, you know. There's a book and you transform into a glass. Glass with water and without water. And then become a flower, then become a this. So this object here, something happening in this space here. Okay? You see the space is kind of small. But when you do multiplication, 100 glasses, so it can be like this way, or can be this way, or can be this way, or can be everywhere 100. When you say 1,000, it expands more. When you say 1 million glass, normally you get lost, right? But in the dream, if you say 1 million glass, you see them all clearly. Okay? And then if you say 1, they become 1. Any number you say, they can manifest. So that's why the more you know the dream yoga, the more you will be amazed your mental power. Okay? You see, the real thing is, we have so much power, we have so much potential, and we have so much energy and force, but we don't know how to use it. And then this energy runs with a karmic wind and our emotions, mental emotions. Somehow the energy runs in the wrong way. That's why we're not enjoying the dreams. Okay? And in the chakra system, we are supposed to enjoy the dreams. That's why this chakra is called the chakra of enjoyment. Enjoyment. Sanskrit karasegilla.
No.
Sanskrit. Gavarkilla.
Sanskrit kare.
Enjoyment.
Enjoyment, sambhoga.
Longche jopike.
Longche.
Sambhoga chakra. Sambhoga chakra.
Bhoga.
Sambhoga.
Bhoga, bhoj means to enjoy.
Enjoy.
Bhoj. Sambhoga. Total enjoyment. And also is the word for orgasm. Sambhoga. In Sanskrit. In Kama Sutra. Sambhoga.
Do you enjoy your dream? Really? You really enjoy? Do you eat all your chocolate there? Then there's no sugar problem, right?
No.
So chakra of enjoyment. And the most powerful enjoyment we can have in the dream. Okay? Most powerful enjoyment we can have in the dream. Any kind of enjoyment, anything you desire. Okay? Let's say you enjoy drinking alcohol. In the dream, you can drink how many bottles you want. Okay? The best wine in the world, and you drink hundreds of thousands of bottles. When you wake up, you have no hangover. And it's free. Okay? So it's interesting. This chakra is called enjoyment. Right? And there are so many things we think we can't enjoy, because of this and that. But in the dream, we can really enjoy whatever you want. Do you understand? Sometimes in the dream, you dream a very, very nice shop, In this shop, you can see anything you want. Food, clothes, whatever you want, everything is there, right? But most of the cases you don't buy. Why? Because you have no money in the dream. And you think, I don't want to buy this, it's too expensive, this is this and that, right? That's called stupid. In the dream, everything is free. You are already in that shop, that's your shop, and you see everything you like, they are all your stuff, right? And why you get stuck, you're saying, I have no money, I can't buy it. They are all free. Or if you want money, you can multiply your money. from 0 to 1, from 1 to 100, 100 to 1,000, 1,000 to million and billion. Then you can pay. You can pay yourself. Okay? And sometimes you see also very nice restaurants, very delicious food. You say, oh, I already ate and I don't want to eat now. Or maybe it's not the right time, or maybe this is too expensive, I don't want to eat this. It's very funny conditions, right? It's all free there. Actually, the food and the drink, they are more tasty than real food. Okay? Because in the dream, if you're hungry, you can eat anything. It's my dream yoga experience. Once I was in Zurich, in Switzerland, and in the dream also I was in Zurich. I was in a restaurant and eating a pasta. The pasta was very good. I was eating and then I realized I was dreaming. I said, pasta is good. The dish must be good too. I started to eat the dish. That's better than pasta. Then I realized, oh wow, it's enjoyment. In the dream you can eat anything. They are all so tasty, right? So the truth is the pasta and the plate, there's no difference. The pasta is my mind and the plate is my mind, the table is my mind. Right? Then I really thought like I'm stronger than Chinese. Normally we say Chinese eat everything beside plate and tables, right? I ate even plate and table. I ate more than them. Yeah. If you are not enjoying your life, don't worry. Okay? I also say this, if you really want to go to a holiday, the best and cheapest is a dream holiday. Right? You can go to Pure Land, you can go to visit the Buddha, you rest there, you enjoy, you receive teachings, and then you come back. Next day you wake up. You're completely refreshed. Okay? So remember that's the name of this chakra, the chakra of enjoyment. Okay? It's much more than enjoying the food and enjoying speaking or singing. You understand? For us, speaking and singing, using our voice, it's enjoyment too. And eating and drinking is our third chakra enjoyment. But our life is much more than that. So that's why this chakra is connected with desire. Desire. Infinite desire, infinite enjoyment. Where you can do it? In dream. You can do it in dream. Once you get satisfaction in the dream and then you wake up and then you don't need to do it. In real life you're not craving. Right? I told you the Maidi story. When I was doing Julian, I was so hungry, and in the dream I was eating everything. Next day I was full. And then many other days I didn't eat anything, just the Julian pills, and yeah, it was very, very, very nice. So I think many things we should, the things we cannot do in the life, we should do in the dream. Our life has so many conditions and limitations, but in the dream there are no conditions and no limitations. So why don't you enjoy it? Okay? And our problem is and how, right? How? So we are doing dream yoga. That's why to become lucid is number one. We have to become lucid. The lucid is number one. Once you become lucid, then anything we can do. It's our world. Okay? Then you can understand the concept of God, the Creator. Right? We are thinking that there is a God, God is creating us. But in the dream you will find out who is the God, who is the Creator, who is this great Creator who creates everything. You will discover that. Okay? That's why in your prayer it says, may I understand the truths of the dream. The truth of the dream is the truth of God. then you'll discover who's the real God. Okay, that's about dream yoga. And can you explain us about the 5 wisdoms?
Oh, sure.
This, and then we do some practical parts.
Okay. So the 5 Buddhas are transmutation of the 5 poisons, and they are the representatives, you could say, of the 5 poisons transmuted into wisdom.
You are listening in dream.
And the Vairochana is very, very famous because he is the body of all Buddhas. He's the syllable Om, and he's usually white in color. And there are some differences in different, but Anuttara Yoga Tantra, he's the body of all Buddhas and he's white. And he's also the special Buddha. Rochana means to shine. Ruch is a Sanskrit verb meaning to shine, and so Vairochana means the great shining one. He's like he's associated with the sun, actually. In Japan, the giant Buddha in Kamakura called the Daibutsu is a Vairochana, and he's the main Buddha of the flower ornament or the Buddha Garland Sutra. One of the most amazing sutras, Avatamsaka, the Do-Peche. He's the main Buddha of that, and Shakyamuni Buddha is considered like an emanation of him. And his wisdom, his poison is the ignorance or confusion, although in a way the best translation of avidya is misknowledge and misknowing. It's an actively wrong knowing. The way we know things, because in a way confusion is one aspect of ignorance, but the bigger aspect is you're an ordinary person and you're suffering and you're dissatisfied and you're whatever, ordinary, and you have pain and you're going to die and you're, this kind of thing. So you know that you are that. You think that's reality, but that's misknowing. And when you see the floor, you think that it's really the floor. You don't think it's a dream floor. So you misknow it as some sort of solid thing in itself, an intrinsically real floor. But the wisdom then, the amazing power of the transformation of the Buddha dream, let's say, is that even that you misknow the floor, that reflects to you the reality of the floor. So it's called the mirror-like wisdom. Your ignorance is a mirror of wisdom, in other words, because wisdom is more, true knowing is more powerful than misknowing, and wisdom is more powerful than confusion. And why? What the floor is only relative to your mind. The floor seems to be out there outside of your mind, but the fact that you can see it means it's relative to your mind. So the fact that you can see it wrongly as if it was outside of your mind reflects the fact that correctly it is related to your mind. And particularly Menla, when he's very hungry, he can eat the floor because it's his mind. And whereas we couldn't eat the floor in our misknowing because we think it's a thing in itself out there that's not to be eaten. So this is the mirror-like wisdom, which has this diamond white-like quality. And it is the wisdom that is the emblem, the head of the family of, there's many wisdom Buddhas, divine type of Buddhas. And Lochana is one, female one, who is the main partner of Vairochana. Her name is Lochana, or Buddha Lochana. And Lochana means the eye. So she's the Buddha eye, is what she is. And meaning sort of the awareness, the visual awareness of all things, And then there are many. Maitreya is a member of the Buddha, that Vairochana Buddha family, and Kshitigarbha, the Earth Store Bodhisattva, is a member of that in the, especially in Guhya Samajam, esoteric community. So anyway, so that's where we're in the beginning of esoteric community. We had Samaja, Vairochana is there, and then all the other Buddhas turn into females to please him, and then they're absorbed into his body. Oh, it's an amazing visionary sequence. And he's in the eastern gate of the Unexcelled Yoga Tantra, which is the entryway gate, because we enter into wisdom through ignorance, because it's the opposite of ignorance. So that's Vairochana. Okay, then Amitabha is the passion or lust or desire, and as a poison. And as a wisdom, he turns that is turned into what people usually say discriminating wisdom. Picking out one thing from another, differentiating one thing from another. But better translation by Lama Govinda, I think, was individuating wisdom. So that's because he's associated with the speech, like Vairochana is associated with his body. Amitabha, boundless light, or Amitayur is another sort of cognate of that, which means boundless life, infinite life. And so that's the speech of the Buddha, of all Buddhas, and has a ruby color, and associated with the syllable ah, the long ah, two ahs together make ah, and it ends with what's called a visarga, which is a sound. So ah, like that, and connected with throat chakra. And the whole thing about passion is the passion to join one thing with another. Sexual passion, food passion, possession passion, greed, lust, all these things are desire, they're all interconnected. Even the desire to be a Buddha is a form of passion or desire. And so, in a way, it's a poison when you really think you're separate from other things, and you thereby want to join with some other thing that you're separate with. And the being who feels separate from the whole universe, of course, wants to join with the whole universe so they won't feel separate anymore, because feeling separate makes them feel afraid. The universe is bigger than they are, it's going to come and get them, and all this kind of thing. So it's a kind of a hopeless case. But Amitabha is where the Buddha already, the wisdom of individuation is already based on knowing that all is one, that there's no difference between anything, that a Buddha being is all connected with everyone. Everyone is completely one energy, really, clear light. But then, out of compassion with other beings who are afraid and feel disconnected and alienated, Amitabha turns that energy into individuating, into recognizing the feeling that the others feel and helping them by putting next to them an individual with which they can feel connected. So as to, so therefore the Lotus family, which is the family of Amitabha, that's where Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, which is the compassion, who is the compassion of all Buddhas, the great God who cares for the loving God, who cares for everyone, is what Avalokita. Avalokita means who looks in a loving way at all beings. Not a God. Ishvara means a God, and but who is the God who looks with caring eyes at all beings. Like he has 1,000 eyes, one form of Avalokiteshvara, meaning the eyes of all 1,000 Buddhas. And seeing this pain of beings and wanting to see them into happiness. And so it's very much connected. The passion becomes compassion, and the Amitabha has the individuating wisdom that it makes individuals to pick out the suffering of beings and to make something that helps them transcend and transform their suffering. So that's Amitabha, for example, is a member of that Lotus family, and Hayagriva is the fierce form. For example, Guru Padmasambhava, who was great being, who went to console, he went to help the Tibetans, but before that he consoled the Indians when Shakyamuni passed away from his body. So they thought he died, but Buddhas never die. But he thought they did. They thought he did, so they felt very forlorn because they felt Buddha had left them. So then Buddha said, don't worry, somebody really great will come, better than me. And he was referring to Padmasambhava, who came from the tongue of Amitabha, the boundless light, because there was some sad thing going on earth, is the legend, and Avalokiteshvara was there in heaven in Sukhavati with Amitabha, boundless light Buddha, and then the people on earth were having a horrible time because some tyrant king was really mad and he was going to be really harmful to people. So then Avalokiteshvara started scolding Amitabha, and he said, come on, Buddha, boundless light, big deal, so you're boundless light, but you're not doing anything for those beings on earth who are having this horrible time. So why don't you do something for them, Because he's the compassion of all Buddhas, Avalokiteshvara, and he thought Amitabha was just being too boundless with all his light, just sitting there. So then Amitabha stuck out his tongue. Buddhas have big tongues. They can cover their whole face with their tongue. They have that's a special sign of a Buddha. He stuck out his tongue, and then this 5-colored rainbow meteor came shooting out of his tongue and landed on a lotus in a lake in front of that tyrant king's palace. And that was the Guru Padmasambhava. It was like a human form of a Hayagriva, actually. Fierce, kind of, a little more fierce than, and he's still alive. He lives in a copper-colored mountain 3-storied house somewhere in Madagascar, I think, or something. Nobody knows exactly, but somewhere to the southwest of India, of the continent, Indian subcontinent. He lives somewhere there. Nobody knows where, but he's still there. Maybe he lives in Wakanda. If you saw, that's maybe Guru Rinpoche's crystal palace, copper palace in Wakanda. Did you see Black Panther? Oh, you have to take him to what?
Black Panther.
Los Angeles, take him to see Black Panther. Wow. You'd be surprised. That's amazing. Anyway, that's a word. Okay, I'm sorry. Wisdom. So that's the discriminating or individuating wisdom, transmuting passion into creating individual forms of beauty to help beings to bring them through their wish to unite with the universe into realization of their Buddhahood. So they unite with the highest bliss of all, which is the bliss of perfect Buddhahood, Sambhogakaya, the total enjoyment body of Buddhahood. Then the heart chakra, then at the heart chakra level you have Akshobhya, and Akshobhya means unshakable, immovable, like a mountain, like no one can move Akshobhya. And he's a dark blue, sometimes a black color, so dark blue it's almost black, like blue-black ink, Parker's blue-black ink. And he is hatred. He's the one who takes the poisons of anger or hatred, and he turns it into ultimate reality, perfection, or purity, wisdom. So in a way, the pattern of hatred is to destroy things. And so he is the mind of all Buddhas, and the mind of all Buddhas destroys the world of suffering. Analyzes it, it's connected to intelligence, which is always, it deals with analysis. So it takes apart the world of the ignorance created world of suffering, and it reveals that the world is perfectly marvelous, excellent, perfection, purity, super bliss, connected with clear light of infinite power and energy. And that's Akshobhya on the heart, transforming hatred and anger into ultimate reality wisdom and perfection wisdom. And then those are the three main ones really, actually, body, speech, and mind, Om, Ah, Hum. And his special mantra syllable is Hum, Hum. And Om, body, Ah, speech, Hum is mind. White, diamond, ruby, and deep sapphire, deep dark sapphire, those are the three. And then yellow, in the navel chakra, is the Ratnasambhava, and the jewel mine, that means, jewel, source of jewels. And Ratnasambhava is interconnected with Amitabha, actually, in the sort of, because because pride or miserliness, which are the two poisons, they kind of a little bit connect to desire and ignorance. So but they're sort of have an association. When you only do 3 Buddhas, body, speech, and mind, but the Sambhava connects with Amitabha. And so he takes pride and miserliness, sort of sense of closing in on yourself, which has a yellow golden color, which can be either the color of gold, pure gold, or when it's pride, and when it's miserliness, it's diarrhea. So gold and shit, it is connected to those two. And it transmutes them into the wisdom of total equality. There's no difference between excrement, feces, and gold to the enlightened being. And there are beings like that. Actually, did I tell you the story about the yogi in Benares?
Yeah.
There was a famous yogi, not Buddhist, but he was great Siddha anyway. And this happened in the 50s, and my friend told me about it. It was in the newspaper. And this yogi was annoying people who had restaurants in a certain place in Benares, because he lived in the kind of garden in India they sometimes have in the middle of a street, like a square. They have like a garden, usually very dusty and dirty, Anyway, he lived there, and then the restaurant people had like outside tables, and outside their restaurant. And then the customers weren't coming because this sort of slightly funky yogi was there. So the restaurant guys took him into court, and he was before the judge, and they were accusing him, and they said, he pooped in this garden there, and then the people didn't want to come to my restaurant, and it's ruining my business, and I want him to be sent away and banished from that place, blah, blah, blah. And they were all accusing him. So he refused a lawyer, and he just sat there. And then the judge, finally, after all the accusations, he said to the yogi, well, Swamiji, how can you defend yourself? What do you have to say for yourself? You're like making an unpleasant thing there with people. And, there's all this impurity in the garden and people like that. And so he said, I need a plate and a knife and a fork, he said. So they brought him one of those Indian metal plates and a fork. So then he pooped in that plate right in the court. And then he took his knife and his fork and he made a slice of the poop. And then he calmly sat there and he was eating it. And he said, there's nothing impure here. I don't see anything impure. What's the problem? And the Indian judge said, case dismissed. Nothing impure. The restaurant people just have to deal with it. It was a famous story. It was on all the papers. I'm sorry. That's India. That's the dream of India. That's somewhere still. That's kind of wonderful. Dealing with reality in a kind of tolerant manner. That's India. Okay. So anyway, that's the quality wisdom, and that is overcoming the high point of pride and the low point of miserliness by making the wisdom of everyone is totally equal. And that's the true sign of a Buddha. A truly enlightened being is there to serve the students and the arhats and the bodhisattvas and the disciples, not there to be their boss. Because the Buddha does not feel higher than the beings who are still suffering, because he realizes they're only suffering because they don't know their true nature is bliss anyway, to start with. Always has been. So he or she or it, Buddhas can be male, female, or neuter, is only, they don't need anything. They don't need to be higher or lower. They realize they're completely equal with all of the beings that they're serving, except that the beings don't know that. So they want to help them come to understand it. So they really are the servants. I realized that once with His Holiness Dalai Lama, when he was speaking to a crowd in Switzerland, about 10,000 people, and he was giving the famous verse about how the Buddha was speaking to the monks, and he said, monks, a wise person accepts some teaching after, like a goldsmith buys gold, after analyzing it, testing it in their experience, and deeply concentrating about it, and then accepting it if it works out, if it's correct and helpful, and not just out of faith in the teacher, he said. And so then the Lama said, sitting on the big throne, right, like the higher Dalai Lama, right, everybody's supposed to be lower than him. And he's leaning forward to the students. I was sitting sort of on the side there, leaning forward to them. And he's saying, therefore, he says, Buddhas, you have to understand, is like begging the students. Don't just listen to what I say and say, oh, Buddha said so, so I think so. But challenge it in your mind and think about it and make it your own, because it won't do you any good otherwise. And he says that Buddha's just begging them to like think about it, think it over, and don't just accept it because I said it. And the body language was like a waiter in a Chinese restaurant. Please take us something, you know, by the great Dalai Lama, you know. That's when I realized how great he really is, you know, really fantastic. You know. And actually, there was a bunch of gurus on the stage on the other side from me, not just Buddhists and some lamas and some Zen masters. They're all kind of gurus, you know, Christian one. And they looked so nervous at that because their own students probably in the audience, you know. And the Dalai Lama was saying, the teacher is trying to serve the student and wants the student to do something, you know. And they have to do it, and the teacher can't do it for them. And he was showing like the humility of the teacher, do you know what I mean? Although he should be, of course he can be very intellectual, he can be like, I'm now Buddha and I'm going to give initiation, he can do that too. But I mean, he showed that his true sign of being really great. Whereas those gurus who act like, I'm smarter than all my students and I know more than they do and I'm so much better than them, usually are not so useful, that's all I'm saying. Sometimes they still can be, but they're not that useful. So that's the wisdom of equality. And then finally, you have the sexy one, Amoga Siddhi, which means the Döyodroba in Tibetan, and that means the one who it's never futile. Amoga means it's never in vain. The never in vain, the one who has achieved never being in vain. There was no non-futility. And he is the color of jealousy. He is the poison of jealousy, which is a combination of greed and hatred. Desire and hatred, you know, you want to be the person you're jealous of, and so you're angry with them at the same time that you're feeling a desire, a craving, a lust for whatever they are doing, and so on. Very, very connected with the genital chakra, the secret chakra, and a green emerald in color. And he turns that into, he represents the transmutation of that jealousy into all-accomplishing, miracle-working wisdom. Because the reason we can't perform miracles is because of our sense of separateness, you know, in the sense of we're not where we should be, and we're angry with someone who is where we think we should be, and we want to be someone else, and all this kind of thing. And so people who cannot get together because they're always competing, and they're always fighting each other, and they always have a zero-sum mentality. If I don't have it, I don't want them to have it. And, you know, this kind of thing, until they never can collaborate and cooperate, and they can't work on a basis of being interconnected. And so green is this green color of the, interesting, you know that in the Western thing, green-eyed monster means jealousy. Having a green eye means jealousy. It's interesting. But green, on the other hand, can accomplish everything. It's the color of the dollar bill. It's that which is still the global currency. It's the color of the emerald. And it's a Dalai Lama's favorite color. Actually, it was Muhammad's favorite color, green. You know, they have that green crescent, you know, as their red cross. And so those are the 5 wisdoms, you know. And it's at the genital chakra, so Amoga Siddhi is kind of sexy, I think. Jealousy also comes about very strongly about sexuality, not just about, you know, lovers, but also about ex-lovers, but also about siblings, you know, about you know, and generally jealousy relates a little bit to sexuality. You know? So those are the 5 wisdoms, I think. And of course, one other thing is that the clear light is transparency. You know, it's not really white, and it's not black. It's between white and black. So the symbol of clear light is the twilight of dawn, pre-dawn, before the sunrise. There's a kind of light where everything is kind of a grayish color, and there's no shadow either. So there's no darkness and there's no bright light. It's like everything's transparent. And so it's in a way deeper than white light. But then, as we know, white light, the body, Rochana, the diamond white light, it goes through a prism, And then all the colors of the rainbow emerge from that white light, right? So, now again, I was thinking, since I knew you were going to ask about this today, the 5 winds, the 5 main lungs. Sokzin is connected to Akshobhya now, no? Right? So that's the blue one, Sokzin. And then the Vairochana is Kabje, right? Is the all-pervading wind. So the life-holding wind, the vitality wind, the central wind is actually the dark blue one, ultimate reality, perfection. I think Amitabha is connected to Genju, the Udana, the rising wind, which connects to speech and so forth. The evacuating wind is connected to Ratnasambhava, I believe. And therefore, I didn't know that, but digestive, metabolic wind is connected with the Amavasiti, I think. Menyam.
Ratnasambhava, here on the belly.
Menyam is
in the belly.
Oh, the evacuative wind is Amavasiti?
Yes, yes.
Okay, sorry, I wasn't sure about that. What, are we getting more? Oh, good.
Amavasiti is descending wind.
Secret. Secret. This is red and white spirit of enlightenment. Basically, symbol of that. But initiation is a very powerful thing. It's the heart of Tibetan culture. This kind of thing, actually, because especially the secret initiation is where you change your genetic belonging. And instead of you thinking of yourself as of this race or that nation or this, my ancestors are like that, I have this kind of blood, that kind of blood, etc. Instead of that, through the Guru, you become genetically connected to the Buddha family. So you become part of the ancestor, then truly becomes Yutok, for example, in this one, through the secret initiation. That's what that substance represents. It represents your changing of your genetic composition. And the greatness of the Tibetan people is the fact is about them.
So now we have medicine Buddha's genetic.
Yeah. The greatness of Tibetan people is that they are not much into this ancestor thing. Chinese go nuts about their sort of Chinese ancestors, and all different people, I have, African blood, or I have Wasp blood, or I have Jewish blood, or I have whatever, French blood. People get into this old nonsense. It's all nonsense, but they get into it. And they have all their ancestor wasps in Boston. They have some weird guy with a beard sitting there who was like had a pirate. He was a pirate or a slave ship, or he killed whales. And now they're big Boston Brahmins, And then there's some poor woman standing next to them, looking like she needed a maid to help her cook the dinner, And they think that's a big thing. And Chinese and Indians also do, upper caste one. Tibetans, who cares, They don't much care about it because they are in the lineage of Avalokiteshvara, of Yutok, of medicine Buddha, of Buddha. They've transmuted that racist thing, the root of racism about my genetic background, into this, we're all children of the, Bodhisattva means child of the Buddha, right? Jinaputra, Gyaltse, right? Child of the Buddha. And Tibetan people so much got into the Buddha Dharma, and their culture is so infused with Buddha Dharma that they switched ancestors. So, for example, you all received initiation today from Yutok via Mr. Personification of Yutok, the sun and moon guy, and that means you're all Dharma brothers and sisters. And Dharma brothers and sisters means that you should take a look at each other because you're now brothers and sisters. Instead of going back and thinking, well, I'm really from this, I'm a Hatfield and I'm not a McCoy. If there was a McCoy over there, I don't know about that one. It's an alien to me. So everyone is a family. In other words, it relates to this Buddha idea of we're all families. Right? Am I right, Ella? Is that fair? Is that good? Okay. So this is your dream family. We're all your dream family.
And that is in Buddha family.
You're my dream sisters and dream brothers. Kaila's my dream daddy and mommy. That's nice, even though he's much younger than me. Maybe I'm grandpa. I'm like a dream grandpa. Nowadays, I'm really enjoying it because I'm not worried about going over again because it's not lasting long. But one thing before you, please remind me. You showed me that thing about Dalai Lama living 113 from the Dojab prophecy, but I lost it. I can't find it anymore.
Okay,
can you still find it on your phone?
Yes.
On WeChat or something? Mm-hmm. You can find it for me, please. And email it to me somehow or text it.
Yeah, I'll WeChat you.
WeChat me. Okay, thank you. Please do. There was a prediction from, 18th century, about 200 years ago?
Yes, yeah.
That the 14th Dalai Lama could live, if he wanted, 113 years. So then Dalai Lama was happy, and he told all the abbots of all the monasteries he would do so. I'll do it if need be. But then he's been, I don't want to, no. 100 is enough, He's getting lazy about it. But I don't blame him, because you get little aches and pains,
Any questions?
Yeah.
We have 11 minutes.
There's a microphone coming. Justin?
So after dinner, I think we do the practical part, sleeping.
What are we going to do?
After dinner, the practical part, sleeping.
The what?
Practical part.
Practical part.
Practical?
After dinner.
Oh, sure. Which practical? I mean, sleeping.
Yeah.
Sleeping and dreaming. Sure. Why not?
You guys want to chant the mantra? You want to chant the mantra or do dream yoga practice? Okay. Then after.
Yeah, we don't need to talk after dinner.
After dinner, yes, we'll sleep.
We need to sleep.
Yes, questions, please.
I've heard that His Holiness, the Dalai Lama, does not lucid dream. So obviously, if you are not capable of lucid dreaming, or if you're not capable of taking dream yoga to the final stage, there must be some other methods that work well, because His Holiness doesn't lucid dream. My question is, what are those? What are other approaches that can take that?
I think His Holiness is doing more clear light yoga.
He does more clear. I'm just wondering why.
Yeah, he is very much about clear light yoga, because clear light yoga is connected with deep sleep. So once you're in the deep sleep state, there's no dream. That's the non-dual state. And in the medical science, it says when we fall asleep, we have 4 phases. Phase 1, 2, 3, 4. The 4th phase is called the deep sleep state. So that state, there's no dream at all. So that's why for us, that's the Dharmakaya state. That's the much deeper or much bigger than the dream yoga state.
Oh, that's a beautiful explanation.
Yeah.
So he's already dispensed with a lot of these exercises.
So you can say he's beyond of dream yoga.
Right.
Who is he?
His Holiness Dalai Lama.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's in the 6 yogas of Naropa, that's clear, right?
Yeah.
Clearly.
And especially, I think His Holiness practiced this Guhya Samaja Tantra. So Guhya Samaja Tantra, the clear light yoga and illusory body, magic body yoga, these 2 are the final ones. So they focus there more than dream yoga.
And if we practice
If you practice
carefully,
dream
maybe we might
yoga,
get
from
to-
dream yoga you can go to the clear light.
That's the goal.
The whole of Tantra is the dream yoga, you see. Because the Tantra accelerates it. The Bodhisattva, the Bodhisattva takes a commitment to live 3 incalculable aeons of lifetime in order to become a Buddha, by helping beings to develop their body of Buddhahood, compassion. Wisdom they can quickly develop, but to develop the compassion body takes a long, long time for Bodhisattva. But then once Bodhisattva gets going, they want to do it faster because they are willing to spend 3 incalculable aeons of lifetime, but they don't want their mothers to have to wait for them to be a Buddha to be able to help them effectively for while they take 3 incalculable lifetimes. So the Tantra is where you go into dreamlike state inside the mandala, and you can die 10,000 times in 1 hour or in 5 minutes. And then each time you give yourself away into the clear light, which is the clear light of death, in the clear light of samadhi and the clear light of sleep, all mixed together. And then you can, it's very, very nice and efficient. It's not messy. You don't have to find a womb and 9 months and get born and go to prep school and go to college and then be Menla. And then you finally make a gift of some way, you know, and you die. And then again you can be reborn. You can die and be reborn and die and be reborn 1,000 times. So you can, it's like genetic engineering. You can speed up the cycle of many, many lives and giving yourself to many, many beings in this subtle dream state. And then be reborn. So you could dream that you're dying and reborn and dying and reborn like 1,000 times in one night. And that accelerates the thing. So it shouldn't be thought that Tantra just gets you out of the whole Bodhisattva enterprise. You know, when Mara said to Buddha, the devil said to Buddha, who asked you to be a Buddha and save all beings from suffering? What is this arrogant crap, you know? That was the last effort by Mara, you know. And Buddha said, the reason, Buddha then answered, he said to Mara, you got to be king of the devils because at one time in one life you had a little bit of compassion for your fellow devil, just for a split second. And because of that, gradually over many lives, you became king of the devils. So that one good deed and that good thought. I, Buddha, have had million lives. I've died for every single being in infinite numbers in the universe, he said. And therefore now I can be Buddha. So then Mara says to him, well, you're my witness because you're clairvoyant and you remember that I was kind once in that thing, so therefore I get to be things. Who can be your witness of such a huge, immeasurable, innumerable bunch of giving your life and body and everything to other beings so that you can be Buddha? And he said, Mother Earth is my witness. And that's why he put his hand on the ground. And Mother Earth came up out of there and she started reciting all Buddha's Jataka tales, you know, the former life stories of Buddha. And then Mara went, drat! Silent movie, and he went back to his brothel heaven where he lived. He lives in a brothel heaven. He's like a pimp, Mara. He's not really a horned one like the American devil, you know, Western Protestant devil. He's more of like he drives a pink Cadillac. He wears red Gucci and you know, shoes and Ralph Lauren like outfits and things.
And orangey hair.
He's a pimp. What?
And orangey hair.
Oh, yeah, he might have. Yeah, he does. Mara. There's a thing in Vimalakirti where Mara brings 1,000 girls and tries to give them to some bodhisattva to get them to like become corrupted, you know. And then Vimalakirti comes there and says, no, give me the girls. You're just Mara. I know you're trying to trick this guy. And then he has to, and then Mara tries to run away and he can't. And so Vimalakirti takes care of Mara. But Buddha does it that way anyway. So that's Tantra is all a dream, therefore, in that sense. It's you go into a dream state and then you accelerate evolution. That's basically how it works.
So my question is actually right on that. It's about the multiplication of yourself. If you can speed up, this is a serious question, Nunro or any other practice by multiplying yourself, really seeing clearly yourself, doing those practices, can you then multiply your own practice?
Yeah, of
That's
course.
a Samantabhadra.
If you are very good in the dream yoga, yeah.
Does it have to
let's
be...
say you have to accumulate mantra like 1,000 times. If you can do it in the dream, you multiply yourself 10 or 100 and it's all counted.
That's right.
Is it the same?
It's the same, yes.
If I'm awake, but I'm in the dream, I'm
Now you're doing dream, not talking into the microphone.
It's not going.
Dream microphone.
Battery hit.
I'm sitting here, I'm in the dream, and I see myself all around the world. I see myself all around the world, and I have red light coming out of here, and I'm chanting Om Anutada right now in the dream. Same?
You can do that. You know, in the Avatamsaka Sutra, did you ever read the Flower Ornament Sutra? It's a book I recommend to everyone here. Translated from Chinese, but the same as the Tibetan one, by Thomas Cleary and published by Shambhala. In that is a special bodhisattva called Samantabhadra, which means totally good. In the Nyingma, Genla's order of Tibetan Buddhism, the Nyingma, they have Samantabhadra Buddha, And Samantabhadra means to total goodness, bodhisattva. And the yoga of Samantabhadra is that he has a vision of himself as made of atomic universes, subatomic universes. And every atom of his body has another universe. So when he bows or when he says a mantra, he's also simultaneously doing that in every universe, in every atom of his own body, and every atom of the room around him, and every atom everywhere. It's not even Tantra, it's a regular sutra. And so there is called the Samantabhadra method of multiplying the merit of what you do. Not only just yourself like a big you, a big Maya, big Miss Maya around here and there, like sitting on everybody's head, but the microscopic Maya in microscopic universes with infinite numbers of Menla in every atom of your body and everybody else's body. And that's called the Samantabhadra yoga of multiplying merit, and it's really kind of cute. It's really wonderful. It's a microverse kind of vision. Kuntu Sampo. You know, as many as there are atoms in the universe, that many, every universe is in every such atom. And then in them, I'm doing what I'm doing that's good, repeated infinite times. It's prayers like that.
In the dream yoga, when you multiply yourself, you see others in front of you. It's not you just imagine you think you're there. It's very concrete. When you say 100 of you, you know there are 100 of you all together. That's why if you do mantra accumulation together, it's counted as you did. But in reality, now you are saying, I'm dreaming, you are saying, my mind is everywhere. That does not count. Because you still don't have the ability of yourself multiplying. So in the Yutal story, Yutal says, in one instance, I can manifest 100 different Yutals in different places. So once we reach that level, then if you do a mantra, like, then one mantra or 100 of you are chanting all mantra, they're all counted. Do you understand?
I do, thank you.
We had a retreat, like our Chakra retreat, and people were reciting Om Ahom Ahom Ve, and Owen was cheating because there was like 700 deities in that mandala, and they were all repeating simultaneously. So he was doing, everyone was 722, he was getting way ahead of the rest. I don't think I have 4 faces, right? So then you multiply by 4, if you see it in each mouth. So they're all kind of tricks like that.
The first night after doing the mantra, which was the second night for everybody else, I had a glimpse of a lucid dreaming. I didn't really do the mantra last night, but I was able to remember my dreams. I guess the question would be, is in this process towards the lucid dreaming, having the intention to remember the dreams and I had an experience where I saw the museums of Central Park, but there are no museums the way I saw it, and I realized that I created it. It's very empowering. So by being more present, remembering your dreams, is that a big part of practicing the yoga?
That's a part too. Your mind, your memory, many things becoming clearer and clearer. And he has some experiences, no? Sorry, what's your name?
Jeff, is it Jeff?
Yeah, Jeff. Can you tell us your experiences?
Yes, I had it in here.
Yes.
This was like 2003, and it was before I heard anything about dreaming like this. I was I was dreaming, I was aware I was dreaming. I was in my childhood street, this asphalt street, long, straight, and all of a sudden, this witch doctor came out of every door at the same time with a sword in his hand. And I was just totally frightened. I started screaming. My partner at the time, she said, "What happened?" I said, "I know, I just scared the hell out of me." Yeah, and I heard about Mantra Street with a sword, and I thought, maybe that was him. And
I couldn't follow him.
But I've been lucid dreaming now for 2 years, and what I found is during the daytime, I have vivid memories of childhood and all the way through my life that troubled me before. Now, I just kind of dissolve them. And aside from getting into patience I told about before, I feel like I've healed my life just by dreaming. And I didn't try to do it, just it popped into my mind now. Like I see very vivid memories.
So your memory become better?
Yeah, but there were horrible things at the time, but not horrible now. I transformed them.
How about it?
Or they got transformed by some process. I don't think I did it on purpose.
So they're transformed?
Yeah, they are transformed. It was amazing.
Yeah, many things like in our childhood, what happened, maybe we don't remember. Maybe we think it's better, don't remember. But they all somehow stays, And somehow in the dream become everything very vivid and very lucid and this. So of course, once we remember, like if there's a poison is coming up. And then we transform it. And then we are free from these things. And dream yoga definitely enhances memory.
Thanks. You want more question?
I want to ask you a question, Gila. So you're saying tonight people will be doing practical. Maybe Om Anuttara?
Yes.
They should all recite and visualize the Anuttara in the throat chakra?
Yeah.
So just really no talk, but just practicing leading that Anuttara mantra, do like 1,000 or 2,000 Anuttara.
Yes.
Yeah? Tonight?
Okay.
Should be the evening session? Okay. You want to lead that, Christian? I'm going to do dream yoga myself. But is that your recommendation?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
And that's the best mantra from this empowerment. That's a good mantra to do that and then
yes.
sleep after saying 1,000 or 2,000. Do they have a rosary? Can you count? It's important to have some kind of thing you can count with when you say mantras. At least I don't know if Gamla thinks so, but one of my teachers said it's very important to count your mantras and keep track to build up your self-confidence. If you count them and you have done 5,000 or 2,000, and you have counters like that, then it builds up your self-confidence. That's the reason for it.
Okay, last question. Yes. Yeah.
Well, I have 7 questions. No, just kidding. The experience of like the communicability of a dream. So I've heard of, like villages of people that will all have the same dream. One thing I heard a story from that in Bali. And then my own personal experience was, and Bob, you mentioned this yesterday, that in initiation, there's an expectation that you may have a dream the first night. So really, this is kind of one question, but kind of 2 ways of looking, is can we have the same dream to some extent? My experience one time was with a teacher touching my head, and I had a dream that night I was certain was related to that. And then a time with a client after working with them, that I felt I had a dream that was certainly not my dream, because it had so much like it was their dream. And then this sense that in initiation, we'll have a dream that indicates something. So is that dream kind of coming from the teacher? And then this idea that a whole village may have the same dream. So the general question is the communicability of a dream. I'm curious to understand more about that and how to use that well.
I think it's a question of collective consciousness. Your all consciousness are connected, so you're all experiencing the same thing. And if the people, for example, the friends or couples, if they can have like joint dreams, I call it the joint dreams, connected dreams, So that's why what you experience, it's always your dream, your mind. But your mind has power to access other minds. Do you understand? It's not your teacher's dream is coming in your dream. So your mind is connected to the teacher's mind, and therefore teacher's thought or energy blessing is coming to you. So that's why always it's you. Your mind can stays like a web like this and connected with others, and you have access of the informations, or your mind expands. So if your mind expands, then all other minds are coming in your mind. Do you get it? It's something like that, yeah. This can happen for couples or very close friends if they are really, really connected, you know. I think our connection, I like this Nyingma school, old school. It says there are three transformations, three types of transmissions, you know, when you receive teachings. One is called the mind to mind, gumpa, and one is called the gesture, symbol to, you know, symbolic communication. One is mental communication, one is symbol, and one is verbal. So our communication, the normal communication is the verbal communication. I say something, you can hear, and then you understand me, right? But sometimes you just read my body language, symbol, gestures, mudras, movements, like this, and you understand what I'm going to say, like this ones. Italians are very good for this, right? So this is the second communication. So because you are so good with this person, even you don't speak the words, your facial expression, your movement, other person can understand you. Second. And the last communication from mind to mind. So once you have this communication, you are both sleeping together, you can have this shared or join the dream. So your mind is so close, there's no border, it's like infused, you know. And then you can share the exact same dream. I have many stories like that. So that's why in a mandala or in a village, of course, everybody is like internally. In this connection is not internet connection. This is inner connection. The inner net is completely connected, and then we are sharing one big dream together. Okay? And there's a very good a quote from Shri Singha, very famous Ati Yoga master. The question says, what is exactly different, a human mind and Buddha mind? The answer is, Buddha mind is all pervasive. It's open like the space. Human mind are individuals. They are blocked. So my way of thinking is our mind is one mind is in one box.
This video was brought to you in part through the generous support of Tibet House US membership community and viewers like you. To learn more about the benefits of Tibet House membership, please visit tibethouse.us. Thanks for watching. Tashi Delek.